This week, the NASCAR Cup Series heads to the Darlington Raceway for the Goodyear 400. Every race with the next-gen car at this track has been exciting and produced great racing. I expect the same this Sunday, and I'm really excited to see most of the throwback paint schemes on track this week. In this video, I'm going to be going over who I think has the best opportunity to win, drivers who will exceed expectations, and looking at some parlays that I like to win some money. The first driver that I like to win this week is the number 22, Joey Logano. Since 2021, Joey Logano has the best average finish at Darlington Raceway amongst active drivers. He won this race back in 2022, the first race with the next-gen car at this track. He started from the pole and led over 100 laps. In the September race that year, he led over 60 laps and finished fourth. Last year, he struggled at this racetrack and didn't finish inside the top 10 in either race, but I still think the 2022 performance is enough on the resume to pick him to win this week, and possibly get Ford their first win of 2024. My next driver that I'm looking at to possibly win on Sunday is another Ford, and that is Chris Buescher. I'm going for the redemption storyline this Sunday with him. After a heartbreaking loss last week at Kansas, I could see him possibly winning this Sunday. Buescher finished 3rd last September and finished 10th last May at Darlington. Darlington is a driver's racetrack, meaning that sometimes not the best car wins, but a more talented driver can pull it off in a car that isn't the best. And that's what I could see happening with Chris Buescher. He is extremely underrated. He has 2 second-place finishes this season and runs well at almost every other track that is considered a driver's racetrack. Watch out for Chris Buescher going for redemption. Third on my list is a driver that is rocking a pretty awesome throwback paint scheme, and that is Chase Elliott. If we look at Chase Elliott's 4 races at Darlington with the next-gen car, we see 3 top 10s and a finish of 36th. Now, the 36th place finish was caused by a wreck, so we can put an asterisk next to that. Elliott is rocking Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 2014 Daytona 500 paint scheme. I could see the storyline coming together of him winning in this car. Elliott already has a win this year, and that's what I've been waiting on to start adding him to my list for drivers to watch, because I wasn't sure when he was going to start getting hot again on the racetrack, and now that he's already won, I consider him to win almost every week at tracks that he run well at in the past. Moving on to my next driver, I have Tyler Reddick. Now, this is a racetrack that Tyler Reddick and his skill set shine at. In the 4 races with the next-gen car at Darlington, Reddick has 3 top 3s and a 22nd place finish. He was caught up in a late wreck in that race where he finished poorly, and he very well could have had another top 10. In September, he led 90 laps and seemed to have the dominant car late until Kyle Larson got the lead. Reddick is one of the best drivers running the fence, and that's exactly what you need to do to get around the lady in black. Watch out for Tyler Reddick. The final driver on my list for ones to watch to possibly win on Sunday is Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin might be one of the hottest drivers on track this year. With 3 wins on the year and another with the Clash, he has been mastering intermediate to short tracks this season. Last week at Kansas, he had an opportunity to win, and then a late caution came out. In the 4 races at Darlington with the next-gen car, Denny doesn't have any flashy finishes. He has a 2nd place finish in 2022, and then 2 finishes outside the top 20, and a 12th place finish. But if you look into those races, you see that he had a dominant car in 2 of those races where he finished outside the top 20. Last September, he won both stages. He led 177 laps, and then had a loose wheel, and was never able to recover from that. In May of 2022, he led 42 laps before having problems there. I'll also throw in a superstition why I'm picking Hamlin, and that is Denny has yet to win this year in the FedEx car, and once again this week, he isn't in the FedEx car. So there is that. Now let's look at some drivers that I think are going to exceed expectations this Sunday. The 3 drivers that I am looking at are Justin Haley, Eric Jones, and Michael McDowell. Let's touch on each of these drivers quick. First, Justin Haley. In the 4 races with the next-gen car at Darlington, Justin Haley has 2 top 10s, and one of those is a 3rd place finish. Now, this did come back in 2022, but last year in this race, he finished 10th. I don't expect that type of a run because the equipment this year isn't on par with the equipment he had in previous years, but this is a driver's racetrack. And so far this year at other tracks that are considered driver racetracks, Justin Haley ran extremely well, finishing inside the top 20, which is impressive for Rick Ware Racing. I expect Justin Haley to finish inside the top 20 at Darlington and could possibly get his best finish of the season and get a top 15. Moving on to Eric Jones, he's making his return after suffering an injury at Talladega. Now, many people will think that he's going to be rusty, but I think this is going to be a track and a race where he's going to perform extremely well. He won at Darlington back in 2022, and last year he finished inside the top 10. Do I expect him to win? No, but I wouldn't be surprised with a top 10 to 15th place finish in his first race back after injury. And who knows, maybe he can get inside the top 10 and up to 7th or maybe 8th place. Finally, Michael McDowell. Now, it was announced earlier in the week that Michael McDowell will be moving on from Front Row Motorsports, and usually when we get these types of announcements, we see drivers go out and have their best races. And I don't know why that is, but I could see that happening with McDowell on Sunday. In 2022, he finished inside the top 10 in both races, but last year had 2 lackluster finishes outside of the top 30 due to accidents. I think McDowell can run inside the top 15 and possibly crack the top 10, and who knows, maybe he can match his finishes from 2022 and show Front Row Motorsports that he still has what it is, even though he's moving on to Spire, but we'll see on Sunday. Now, moving into the betting portion of this video, like every week I do 2 different styles of parlays. I do the top manufacturer bet, and then I do the head-to-heads. For the top manufacturer bet this week, I'm only doing 2 legs, and I'm picking a top Ford and a top Chevy. And the top Ford that I'm taking is Chris Buescher, and the top Chevy that I'm taking is Chase Elliott. Again, I like both of them to win, but I also think both of them will be extremely fast, even if they don't win. Now let's move on to the head-to-head bet, and I apologize as the last leg gets cut off, but you can still see the driver that I took. So let's get into it. We have Ross Chastain over Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher over Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott over Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin over Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace over Alex Bowman, and then Tyler Reddick over Martin Truex Jr. Now again, you don't have to do all of these legs. If you don't like some of them, you can take them out, but I'm probably going to do all of them, and I'll probably do one that only has 3 or 4 just to be safe. So let me know what you guys think of these bets, and also let me know what you guys think of my race picks. Who do you think is going to win this Sunday? And let me know which paint scheme you like the most. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.